Yo, we're the Zone Runners, and this time we're at Pumpkin Hill. You ain't ready.
I ain't gonna let it get to me. I'm just gonna creep down in Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's here, I can sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. I'm gonna hold my head cause I have no fear. Probably seems crazy, a graveyard theory, but a ghost tried to approach me and got leery.
Asked him a question and he vanished in a second. I'm walking through valleys, crying pumpkins in the alleys. It didn't seem happy, but they sure tried to get me. Had to back him up with the fist, metal crackling. I'm hearing someone saying use a chicken, don't be scared. It had to be the wind cause nobody wasn't there. I searched and I searched as I climbed up the wall, and then I started to fly, I went in deeper.
Let it get to me, I'm just gonna creep down in Pumpkin Hill. I got to find my lost piece. I know that it's it, I can sense it in my feet. The great emerald's power allows me to feel. I can't see a thing, but it's around somewhere. Gonna hold my head cause I got nothing to fear. It probably seems crazy, brave the theory. A ghost tried to approach me and got leery.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, it is me, Duke CT, and man, what a crazy week it's been. And in the world of, wrestling and all that good stuff, but also in the other things in the other world and such. I mean, in other pop culture stuff, and video games, and all the good things in video games and in movies and such. Well, let's let's talk about the big thing that people are going to talk about, about Fantastic Four 2015. We haven't heard much. We haven't heard much of a trailer, anything like that. We haven't heard anything big yet. Heck, we didn't hear anything big from this Comic-Con, International Comic-Con, both International Comic-Con and New York City Comic-Con. We didn't hear much about anything about the Fantastic Four. Nothing. It's a weird type of thing. It's a very, very weird thing. Heck, you have previews of Batman and Superman. That was in 2016. That's coming out in 2016. And, you got stuff like Avengers, Age of Ultron. That's coming out next year. And there's like 3 trailers for that already. Okay, and that's odd. To me, that's really odd. Because, this movie is coming out, and we haven't heard any pictures or anything. It's weird. But we do have, ladies and gentlemen, what we do have is these back, we see some photos of a gray-looking thing and all this other stuff. But I'm like, fine, they're going to fix that in post. But this, you can't really fix the post or anything. As actor of, let's see. The person playing Dr. Doom in the new reboot of Fantastic Four 2015's actor Toby Kebbell said this about it. That instead of him, Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom, being this megalomaniac type of dictator who is a huge, what's the word I'm looking? Oh, this huge egomaniac, a dictator who owns his own country, who owns and runs his country of Latveria, and a very powerful man, a person who not only in Marvel comic book is probably a big villain, but also in comic books in general. As a truly megalomaniac and powerful villain, with his not only is smart in the science world, but also his mystical abilities and such. Heck, I think of one comic or something. Doctor Strange said he could have been Doctor Doom could have been, is actually in the running to be the next, he was the next big guy, the next big magic guy, Doctor Strange. He was going to be that. the master magician of all the, he's that powerful in the mystic sense of Dr. Doom. He is. So instead, I'm linking the description to the what this person said. This is what from him. Cabell actually gave some background for his character. It says this: he's Victor Domashev, not Victor Von Doom in our story. And I'm sure I'm going to be sent for jail for telling you that. Cabell said, the Doom in our in his story, he's a programmer, very antisocial programmer, and on blogging sites, I'm Doom. That is his online handle. He is not the most powerful, but he is not he doesn't have any mystic signs. He doesn't have any type of mystical power or anything else. He is just an antisocial programmer, a troll. He turned one of the most powerful and most interesting villains in Marvel history, in fact, in comic books history, and turned him into just an internet troll. I already said this joke, but screw it. Insert Gamergate reference here. Yeah, this is just sad. This is just really, really sad what they're doing to Fantastic Four. I don't mind Michael B. Jordan. In fact, I have a person who was commented, Exity69 actually had a comment about this on my video, on the vlog I put on yesterday evening. Let's see. Let's see. Here it is. Comments. Yes, YouTube comments. It says quote. He says from him, Exity69. I'm quoting you right now, man, and I'm hoping I don't take y'all context or anything else. Right? Hopefully I said your online handle right. Unless that's your real name, then you got weird parents. This is I hate the Fantastic Forecast. Michael B. Jordan would make a good Reed Richards / Mr. Fantastic, but not a good Johnny Storm / Human Torch. He is too old and too serious of an actor for that role, not to mention he's black. And they cast Kate Mara to play his sister Sue Storm, the Invisible, which makes no sense because she is white. Which Marvel get control of all their franchises. Changing Doom is just as stupid as the rest of the changes. Now, I don't agree with all that. First of all, Michael B. Jordan, they could easily just say he's adopted into the Storm family. You could easily just write there. And personally, Michael B. Jordan as Mr. Fantastic, the dude is 27 years old. I don't think he would be a good Mr. Richards or Mr. Fantastic. I mean, if you want to go that far. Personally, the only person, Mr. Fantastic is just like, he's in the early 50s and such. Mid 40s, early 50s. I mean, if you want to go an African American version, I wouldn't say maybe Denzel Washington. I mean, Digimon Hansu, Idris Elba. I know Idris Elba's busy being Heimdall, but there should be some old elder statesman to me as Mr. Fantastic. To me, Mr. Fantastic is the elder statesman. He's a guy who's mature and such. He's a bit thick, heads on the clouds, but still he's an older gentleman that knows responsibility. That sort of thing. I disagree there, and I think a lot of people would be even more pissed off. As if Michael B. Jordan was cast as Mr. Reed Richards or Mr. Fantastic, that would set people all off. They say he's too young. He's only black, but he's too young. Seriously, that's my person. And that's my thing is. It's just, and he's too old and too serious. I think he'd be the right age. I mean, how old was Chris Evans when he was, let's see, Chris, let's see, yes. Oh, yes, let's see. Chris Evans, born 1981, he was probably 20, 23, 24 when he was the Human Torch. Yeah. So, yeah. No. He was probably um let's see. It's probably like 25. Probably like 25, I think. Yes, he was kind of like 23, 24 around that time. Around in the Fantastic Four. And he's probably around 26, 27 with Rise of Silver Surfer. Also, I did not know he was in Battle for Terra. I did not know that. Huh, who knew? Probably gotta check that movie out, by the way. Really good stuff. Um, uh, anyway, let's see. What else? Oh yeah, I think this is gonna be a bit of a disaster. Not a bit. I think it's going to be a major disaster. Because I just don't think it's going to really. Um, I don't really think it's going to be a really. I don't think it's going to be really something that connects to the people. That, in my personal opinion, about the whole Fantastic Four movie. Your comment's interesting as Ecstasy 69, but I don't think the race thing. I have no problem with it. I want to see who the direction is. I have no problem. But I think that everything else is going to be really bad. I just don't think they're trying so hard to be realistic. While you see Marvel in their own films, they're acting less realism and more of the fantastic, which is sad because the Fantastic Four is well fantastic. It's and now I heard. I mean, this film seems to be more of a disaster at this point. And I thought there was going to be a disaster back in 2012. I mean, 13, 12, 10. I thought this film is going to be just really bad. And it's sad. Really, really sad. But I hope I'm wrong. Again, I hope I'm wrong. And I really am. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Fantastic Four movie is great. I hope it is. But if it's not good, a lot of people have very negative stuff, but then again, that won't surprise me. I mean, the new TMNT movie got billions and billions of dollars, so the public doesn't know what it wants. So anyway, oh yeah, that's a bit depressing. Yeah, I'm getting the depressing stuff early first, folks. Anyway, we're gonna take a small little break. We're gonna get back. We're gonna talk a little bit of some gaming news about Ubisoft, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Ubisoft. What in the world is going on with them? We'll be right back right after that. Here live on the Duke CT Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me, Duke CT, here on TalkShoe.com. We'll be right back right after this. Back here live on the Duke CT Lounge. Thank you so much for joining me, Duke CT. Phone number, as always, is 724-444-7444. What's good though? Phone number is 724-444-7444. And the call D to connect with me, Duke CT, is 92417. Call D is 92417. Well, this is a right old mess that Ubisoft has gone to. Well, let's see. Goodness gracious. I love this by Paul Tassi. It says, "Congratulations, Ubisoft. You are the new EA." Yeah. It's funny. It says, "Yesterday the dam broke for this is interesting. Right here. Oh boy. See, it says, "Yesterday the dam broke for Ubisoft, and the gaming press and the gaming public stopped fighting for each other after 2 months of Gamergate warfare to turn into a new common enemy. In fact, Ubisoft seems to cross so many lines with their recent Assassin's Creed's dual release that critical disdain and public outrage over their policies has reached EA levels of horror, of fervor. I can't pronounce anything, and I have a podcast. The internet. Anyway, EA was, this is from his article, it says, EA twice voted the worst company in America by extremely zealous anti-fans, hasn't entirely avoided controversy this year. There's still a forever question of was Titanfall a failure, hanging over their heads with the sales data apparently locked in a safe and buried under 200 feet of concrete somewhere in Redwood. Then there's some kerfuffle with the Sims and swimming pools, which I never really could wrap my head around, but for most part they keep their heads down this year, and generally avoid fan ire. In fact, they even score a huge winner, apparently great Dragon Age Inquisition. Whatever, I'm not into Dragon Age. But then Ubisoft, which, by the way, with the the DRM, which says, moving on. But this has been an especially bad year for Ubisoft. And it's not only gotten worse as of yesterday. Whereas EA is usually cast as a corporate industry villain, Ubisoft isn't normally quite as persecuted. Before this, their most memorable controversies involved the overly intrusive DRM. DRM. You know, and this is the reason why people pirate. DRM, the reason why most gamers pirate, which that to me is not, that should be more persecuted for EA and such with that. But then again, now, they're painted as the face of everything wrong with modern gaming, from deceptive marketing to recycled concepts to crass monetization. Okay. Here it is. You have Watch Dogs, which I already did the review, and by the way, if you haven't seen that review, how dare you? It's right down my YouTube page. Seriously, it's easy to get to. I'll put a link in the description what I thought about Watch Dogs, but then Watch Dogs didn't unfurl the hype and everything, yeah, that sort of thing. Then you had the EC character Unity, didn't have playable female characters, and then you had the Assassin's Creed Unity launched. Revealed the game would be locked at 30 frames per second to create more cinematic experience. Okay. Whatever. If you really care about the 60 frames per second, that sort of thing. I think Nash already talked about this over in his Radio Dead Air such, his live stream or live cast or whatever those crazy kids call it. He said this was a really bad thing. I was walking home from school, so I don't remember every little thing. But yeah, he did not like it at all. Since he's more into the 60 frames per second, I have an HDTV. I do have it cooked up. I do have a 720 and everything else. I have a console, but I never played a game that's 60 frames per second. Personally, one day I would like to have a PC, hardcore gaming PC that can run 60 frames per second and do all the cool, crazy things those people on the internet can do. But for right now, I can't. So, hey, whatever. All right, but moving on. This is from Paul Tassi, if I'm pronouncing your name right. And if you're listening, hi, Paul. I don't think you're going to be really depressed or just like, oh God, who is this stumbling moron? Let's see. Paul Tassi, who made this article. I'll put the link in the description. He says, moving on. Says, Arriving at the launch of Assassin's Creed Unity, review copies were given out to critics, but with the stipulation that the reviews could not go live until 12 full hours after the game's midnight launch. Then, when it was revealed that Unity suffered from a myriad of technical problems across all platforms, every platform it's on, including frame rate, ironically, the move looked to many like an attempt by Ubisoft to sell day one copies to fans before any negative press could get out regarding the technical problems or the quality of the game itself. Assassin's Creed Unity features a number of troubling gameplay elements, including microtransactions that offer in-game currency for packages priced as high as $100, around $99 to $100. That's crazy. Past that, the game scatters chests throughout the map that only can be accessed if your game is connected via the Assassin's Creed app or Uplay. Yay! Far Cry 4 is yet to be released, but fans are aware of the game becoming a part of Ubisoft's new annual release schedule, accusing it looking like an extended DLC rather than a meaningful evolution of the series. Personally, I think they should just ditch Far Cry and just do a Blood Dragon 2. But hey, Blood Dragon's awesome, and seriously, if you haven't got Blood Dragon, you should. It's brilliant. It's awesome. Everything wrapped in 80s and oh goodness. You don't even need to get Far Cry 3. Just play Blood Dragon and your everything will just be perfect. It's just amazing. I need to go back and play that joint again after the podcast. But I should, but I still gotta do my review of Best in the World for Ring of Honor. I'm still doing that, and hopefully we'll have everything up. And then after my video, after I do all that good stuff, I'm gonna type it all up, and then bam, put it up there on the stuff. And then after that, I'm gonna have a little celebration and play some Blood Dragon. Yeah, moving on. In general, fans require Ubisoft constant use of extremely similar formula across all their major series, so they're basically REA. Yeah, including capture points on an open world map and a huge amount of copy and paste side quests and collectibles, which may have reached their peak with the drowning in icons AC Unity map. Wow. And another reason why I stopped playing Assassin's Creed. Oh, I really did not like this going on. Say, that's 8 different controversies, each a different level of seriousness, but all come together to form a picture of a company that seems to be on the wrong track. This is from Paul Tercy's article. At least according to the fans who buy its products. The oldest charge is one that's going to resonate well into the future. Ubisoft has been a master of creating eye-catching, buzz-building cinematic trailers for their games, using actual pre-rendered CGI but also stylized gameplay. But the problem is now the gameplay shown at events like E3 simply doesn't match the final product. Oh, really? More often than not, that stuff never does, man. Just gotta wait for it. That's why, you always gotta look at a half eye. It looks cool, but more often than not, 95% of the time, people need to realize something. When something looks too good to be true, more often than not, it actually is. It's too good to be true. You got just hustled more often than not. But anyway, I continue. But it's already happened again with The Division, which seems to get less visually impressive the closer it gets to becoming a reality. The issue now is that Ubisoft can show any kind of visibility, spectacular footage, and be met with the claims of, well, it won't look like that at launch. Some of the immediate issues are relatively minor and industry-wide. Ubisoft botched a playable female character question in Unity, but obviously more women in meaningful lead roles is something that is not an entirely Ubisoft-specific problem. Are people and minorities in color as well? Neither is the eternal loop of hype building between publishers, press, fans, building up games with impossible promises and expectations and then having them be let down at launch as a result. Which, true. But that's the whole thing about hype. You got, more often than not, things you can't just get yourself over hype with everything. But the most recent issues with Unity are serious and related to Ubisoft directly. The weaponized review embargo, as Polygon's Ben Kershaw recently put it, was a nasty bit of a game playing that looked entirely self-serving. It was the largest issue that managed to unite a feuding games press with their readers for the first time in months. Yeah, that's amazing. So thank you, Ubisoft, for at least having the Gamergate and anti-Gamergators and pro-Gamergators, at least a Dukect for now. And hopefully in this new world, we'll actually have some nice unity. Well, we'll have some real unity and such. Or after a couple months after beating down the Ubisoft, beating the dead horse that is Ubisoft, they go right back to beating on each other. More often than not, I guarantee that's going to happen. But hey, that's what life is nowadays. Moving on. Ubisoft has mostly avoided EA-style disasters of launching games to inoperable servers, unlike Microsoft and Halo, but I'll get to that later. As their games are mostly single-player, the technical problems with Unity are a different sort of launch issue, and one that's just as serious. It's here that we see the cracks starting to show in Ubisoft's newfound mandatory yearly release schedule for Assassin's Creed, and now presumably Far Cry as well. Essentially, blackmailing the press with a bizarre embargo time. Either you agree to it or you don't get review copies anymore. Let players pick up the game on good faith alone before any negative can be written about it. But that's the problem with good faith. It goes away. The gaming public is quickly becoming wary of what companies like Ubisoft are doing. As I mentioned earlier, the glorious too good to be true E3 footage is going to draw skeptics going forward after what happened this year. And huge AAA games which are forcing post-launch review embargoes on the press are going to look like they have something to hide. These are tricks you can pull only so many times before your customers catch on. There's a fine line between doing what you have to do to sell your product and tricking formerly loyal customers into picking a game that they might not have bought otherwise if they had all the facts. In terms of Ubisoft's struggles with what their real roster of games actually contains, Unity is full of rotten ideas for the future of games. Run its $99 microtransactions bundles in the $60 game, or lock chests that can open with comparison to iPhone apps. Though Ubisoft isn't the first company to use microtransactions in full retail games or even try to shoehorn their own services or apps. They do it in a way with Unity that's simply obnoxious. And between these elements and the multiple Assassin's Creed games per year release schedule, it looks desperate. They're trying to squeeze every inch of single drop of blood out of the stone. Say what you will about the also annual franchise like Call of Duty that many view as derivative and sometimes exploitative, but even they are not offering $99 to unlock all guns bundles yet. A common refrain we like to deal with the issues. Well, publishers need to make money. I understand that, but there's a limit to what you can do without completely alienating your customers. You have games like Elder Scrolls Online, Ubisoft, which A, a traditional box copy costs, B, a subscription model, and C, in-game microtransactions. And how big of a hit was that game? Game developers can't have it all. Even if a game like Assassin's Creed Unity is doing 2 out of 3. There are gamers out there who remember when unlock everything was a cheat code in single player games. Now it's a $99 microtransaction. Yes, making games is expensive, especially so when it comes to AAA blockbusters. But the further we get down this road, the less the games art argument seems to apply. Assassin's Creed can be fun, thoughtful, and telling stories when it's at its best. Why does it forcibly be milked by its own publisher with rushed-out sequels, cash-grab microtransactions, and enhanced elements like app-lock chest? It's like if after Gladiator won an Oscar, there's a new sequel released every year. By the time Gladiator 5 rolls around, you're paying 50% more to see it in 3D, and you have to download an app to watch bonus scenes on your iPod, or iPad, or iTouch, or whatever. The film TV comparisons are always tough because games have the unprecedented ability to charge for anything and everything, whereas other forms of media can do is raise ticket prices or subscription rates. Free non free to play games, non indie video games have the $60 price point locked in place, and now publishers are trying to figure out how games can cost $100 or more between DLC season passes, microtransactions, subscriptions, and more. Ubisoft is rushing out games and trying controversial revenue generation all the time. And it's not just creating poor user experiences, it's making them look sloppy and cavalier about their relationships with their fan base. Oh, wow. And it continues on. And this is something really good. I like this. And right here, what consumers want is a product that doesn't look like it was advertised. A product that looks like what was advertised. B, not to be talked down to in PR speak. A working product at launch. To be respected for selling out $60 for a game and not goaded into paying even more. These are not difficult goals to accomplish. And it's amazing how far a little honesty will go in an industry where the consumers constantly feel misled. Where consumers constantly feel misled. And try to be a wrestling fan sometimes. Obviously, every company exists to make money. But when your customers feel deceived or like their loyalty is being exploited, you're taking a wrong turn. And Ubisoft has taken at least a half dozen wrong turns this year. And now seems to be lost in the labyrinth of EA only recently escaped from. And here's hoping that they will finally, they did have a response to it as well. Whoo! God damn, that looks terrible. I just looked at one of the pictures of it. It's like, hey guys, where's goodness gracious. You look at this loud screen. This is what AC Unity is. So I'm like, good lord, it's looking something right out of like some horror film. Oh, sweet Christmas, that looks horrifying. I'm about to go all like, what's wrong with your face? Type of thing, man. Seriously, it looks, oh, good lord. Yeah, I just look at the screen. It terrifies me. That just looks just straight out nightmare fuel right there. Okay, but yeah, that looks just like, oh wow. Oh goodness. Hopefully hopefully they stop apologizing or something because they need to. But it's funny. I think the Rageaholic says something, for Razor Fist from his Facebook page, something more interesting. It says this, and I quote. So for the legions of furious fans lavishing throughout game-breaking, save-corrupting bugs in Assassin's Creed Unity, Ubisoft has your solution. Open betas. Now addressing the problem of the annual assembly line they have Assassin's Creed on, resulting in 5 years of plummeting quality instead of fixing the broken game. Now we have a disclaimer calling it a beta, absolving Ubisoft of responsibility, thereby. And don't forget the internal market quality, those day one review embargoes. Slap a band-aid on that tumor. Yep, that's what it is. Another band-aid on a tumor. And I knew this day was gonna come. I knew it. This is the future of games right here. They are going to this is the price we pay, ladies and gentlemen. We gotta pay that price, that dollar, because now they can download stream. You don't need to sit and have a perfect game. They're just going out and saying it's an open beta now. Yeah, look at that. That's open beta. So they have no responsibility whatsoever. This is just pathetic. It's pathetic, people. Yeah. Anyway. We're going to take a little break here. I'll play a little bit of, let's see, something fun. We need something really good. Let's see. I haven't played this in a while. Some tuck and roll from Maverick Rising, Tuck and Roll. The Mega Man X Maverick Rising from Overclock Remix, ocremix.com. We'll play a little bit of that, and we'll be right back live here on the Dukect Lounge. We're going to get into more interesting stuff as Brock. I'll get my thoughts on Brock Lesnar not appearing on Raw, SmackDown, or any place, and just sitting chilling until he returns for the Royal Rumble. Well, I'll talk about that and more here on the Dukect Lounge. We'll be right back right after this.
Say the only thing worth having was found at the end of each day. But that was then and this is now, and he's far gone, and his voice had lingered on for far too long. He said, my fearless son, you can't be stronger than them all. The birds control the sky and if the John will likely fall. And you need an alibi just to pass by in this life, cause your show can't protect you from death sight. Oh no. When he left to find himself, I left his spirit and body and soul. I also left my family, literally. Cause if he's not worth anything, then what do I know? I'm just a carbon copy of a damned machine.
And we are back live here on the Dukect Lounge. Thank you so muct for joining me, Dukect T. Phone number, as always, to call in to the craziness. It is 724-444-7444. Once again, the number is 724-444-7444. And the call D to connect to me, Dukect T, is 92417. Again, the call D is 92417. Now, it's weird having a wrestling thing be the last thing to talk about. There's two things on the order to plate here. First, Microsoft had the Halo, basically having a complete, just having some real problems. Let's see. There was some problems supposedly about like people getting kicked off, about yeah, like they couldn't really do anything. Right here, I think there was supposedly something wrong with the servers. Supposedly they can't really do anything. They were getting kicked out of matches from the Halo 2 maps, and a lot of people were pissed off. So yeah, they had a huge apology and said, sorry, this will never happen again. But here's the thing. Why didn't you just fix the game? It just really seems to me that this is the same problem, is that they don't care. They will just bam, 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 bring it out and just, not fix it. It's sad. It just really is what the industry has become. Not even having this stuff. I know people already talked about it, but it's just sad. Anyway, now back to Brock Lesnar. Ah, yes. Brock Lesnar. I like the idea of him being champion. I thought it was a great move. And I honestly thought him coming in as just walking in and just destroying people to find the boss. I really did. But here's the problem with that, is that he isn't even on the show. He's just there. The show just feels really empty without you. And I don't think the idea of what Brock Lesnar or anything like that is a bad idea. It's just the execution of what WWE is doing. And they're not having him come up and show. They have Paul Heyman walk around and such, but you don't see Lesnar sitting around like having a seat. Why not have him sit down, like watch the main events and such? I mean, could you imagine him just watch, like say he just comes in and, have like, ladies and gentlemen, the WWE champion Brock Lesnar is watching this Hell in a Cell and have him talking to Paul, just sitting there just like watching. That right there would be so much better saying, okay, he's looking at, and you have Cena point at him and such. And you see, like, whatever, I'm watching this, and he left. So he needed to see what he needed to see, and he left. The only thing, you just like, have these, pre-taped segments, at least some training. Why don't they just have him pre-tapes having him train? Of Lesnar training, seeing all that stuff. Hopefully they start doing that in the March of the Royal Rumble, but I think they should have that. Have Lesnar just do maybe a token appearance once a while. Just have him squash some unlucky soul or something like that. Just completely annihilate that poor wrestler. That would actually be pretty cool. But instead, we just have him just be this. He's just non-existent, and it's sad. I hope that this doesn't. I hope that after Royal Rumble they start pushing him up and being around the show more. Also, what that really executed wrongly is having John Cena facing John Cena 3 times in a row. Why couldn't they have someone else? There's a roster of very interesting and compelling wrestlers on there, WWE. Just being a Brock Lesnar, or at least someone on his level, would be interesting. Hell, I would actually like at least a minimum confrontation with him and Rusev. That would be fun. Instead, we just have him just sit there like, he's just fighting Cena again because Cena's the only guy who can do it. Whoop-de-doo. Yeah, I mean, because, hey, how about, we could have Sheamus take his shot. Sheamus, Ziggler, Dean Ambrose. Anyone? Come on, that'd be real fun. Instead, we just have Cena, and then Reigns. Maybe that's going to happen. Hopefully. And let's see if Reigns can actually, hopefully his time will end. Maybe he's going to be 100%. Let him in the Royal Rumble. He beats Lesnar. Clearly, that makes him a star, a big star. And that would be very interesting to see how that works out. But, or the WWE is going to go fully incompetent and have Cena beat him. Which would be so completely and utterly stupid. Of course they would. But it's sad. I hope it doesn't come to that. I wish it didn't, but I wouldn't be surprised. But I'm having hope. I'm having faith, people. I got my faith that Brock Lesnar is going to win against John Cena. Not, it's just going to be, lol, Cena overcomes the odds, and then it's just, here we go again. But that's just my personal opinion. That could be wrong. Anyway. Another downer. Oh, yeah. And things more positive. Again. Anyway, hopefully next week I end something with a positive note. This is Dukect T. Thank you so much for listening to me on TalkShoe.com. Remember, you can find this on YouTube, Screw Attack, Facebook, my Dukect Productions Facebook page, the Reviewverse Facebook page, Rise of the Critics, the community forums over at rvt.com. There's, let's see, that guy glasses video forums. And hopefully, after I upload this, I'm going to be right back to the grind of doing the review of Best in the World. I will hopefully have that done, hopefully by Sunday. If not, the latest will be done by Thursday. Yeah, I think hopefully a good date will probably be maybe earliest Sunday, but later Thursday, but it will be done soon. All right, thank you so much for listening. It's Dukect T here. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.